Now, I happen to be a bicyclist, so, I ride my bicycle on most days, and braking on a bicycle is different, obviously, because the bicycle that I have does not have suspension or anything, but it makes sense as far as physics is concerned that, as you brake, your weight is going to shift forward. Your front brake needs to be stronger than your back brake. The problem is that I used to depend a lot on my rear brake. And the problem with depending upon a rear brake, especially when you're traveling at a pretty high rate, is that it will easily lock up the back wheel. Now, the way to make sense out of that is, as you're braking, as I just said, your weight shifts forward. That means your weight is coming off of the back wheel. So the back of the bike gets lighter as you brake. And that makes it a lot easier for that back wheel to lose its traction. Okay? The problem with the back wheel losing the traction is that the bike will slide the sideways. In other words, the back of your bike will slide either to your right or to your left, depending upon which direction you're heading. All right, so it'll spin out to the side. Well, when you do that, the first response is to get off of the back brake. The problem with getting off of the back brake at that point is that it immediately gives the back wheel back its traction, but you're sideways. So you don't want the back wheel to get back its traction. The proper technique is to maintain the back brake even as your bike is sliding to the side, even though that goes against everything that's in you. All right, but what can happen, if you let go of the back brake as you're sliding sideways, the back wheel regains its traction, and then you'll flip over the bike. It's called a topside. Now, obviously that's not going to be a pleasant event, because you could potentially get hurt seriously. Your bike could get damaged. Okay, but I've had instances where, the back of my bike began to slide to the side, and I did not maintain that brake. All right, unfortunately, I wasn't going at a high enough rate of speed, to harm myself or to completely wreck the bike or anything like that. But I've been in situations where I'm traveling 25 and I get on that back brake instead of depending upon the front brake primarily, and it turned out, just that my back wheel started to slide, so I immediately let go, and then I had to remind myself, oh, I'm supposed to kind of hold that. But fortunately, I was in the early stages of that slide of the back wheel losing its traction. Okay, but that's something that you have to get used to. It depends. I'm sure that the braking is slightly different depending upon what bike you're riding. But yeah, front wheel, or the front brake rather, 70% of your stopping power. Rear brake, 30%.